Cheers! I found a new body!
Matt, Rita has returned. Recruit a team of former teenagers for interviews.
What time is it?
I believe it's Morphin Time.
Oh, you know what? It's Morphin Time.
It's Morphin Time.
It's Morphin Time.
It's Morphin Time.
So, Kat, we got to see you return to the Power Ranger universe just a couple years ago. You got to shift into Turbo, and now we're back to the Mighty Morphin era for the 30th anniversary. What was going through your head when you're stepping onto the command center set? You're seeing the juice bar, you're seeing all these classic elements redesigned for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, it was very nostalgic. We were all very excited to see how close it was going to be to the original. The juice bar was crazy because it looks exactly like how it looked when I was on the show. And it was just very nostalgic. And the Moon Palace, and then the command center is gorgeous. Like, they did an amazing job. It's different from the original. And they explain why in the episode, why it looks the way it does. But yeah, it was very, very exciting. And I felt so excited for the fans because they're really going to get what they've wanted all these years. Like, they like the specials, and they get excited about seeing the original cast or new other, generations of Rangers coming back. But they really wanted a Mighty Morphin one. They just wanted to see the original cast come back. So I'm really excited that they've done that for the fans.
And you got to reunite with some of your friends a couple years ago, but this time the gang's all here. You're getting to interact with Walter, who you hadn't been on screen with before. Of course, the introduction of Charlie. There's a lot of different elements. Can you talk about dynamics as far as like on set? Did it feel organic having been friends with all these people for so long, or was it a little bit different when you're acting with them?
No, it was, sorry, my dog's sneezing in the background if you hear a good noise. Allergy season. No, it was really fun. I mean, we're such a family, and, I've been doing conventions and various other events with all of these people for years now. And so we have a real bond and family relationship. So to be on set with them, my first time on set with Walter ever, other than we did a project for Karen several years ago, but first time as a Power Ranger. And I was so excited for him because he hasn't been on the set for 30 years. So it was really awesome to get to work with him. And Charlie's adorable. You guys are going to be blown away by her. She is so talented, and I'm really excited for the fans to meet her. And, working with David and Steve and Karen and Johnny, we just kind of fell back into it again. It was funny. It was very nostalgic and like surreal, but at the same time felt very normal and comfortable too. So, and it was also on a little bit of a bigger scale than when we'd been on the show. So, yeah.
On that note, it's really interesting because you've had so much experience with different eras of the show. From a production standpoint, can you talk about how far it's evolved behind the scenes from where it started? Oh,
totally different. We had, when I was filming, we didn't even have multiple cameras. We would film, they would have us, we would do a cluster, they would call it. So we'd film 3 episodes over the course of 2 weeks. And they would, you would be filming, say, a scene in the juice bar. And then they would say, okay, go wardrobe, change them, bring them back for episode, 54 or whatever. And we'd be in the juice bar in different wardrobe because they did our turnarounds they didn't want to change the camera. Like, we would film all of our scenes in the juice bar for that scene because we were moving at such a fast pace. And just the production quality has changed in terms of the cameras and what they can do now. It felt very professional and real film, a real film set. Sometimes we were kind of winging it a little bit back in the day. But we also had really talented people working on the show when I was on it. Like Ilan, our DP, was incredible. All the stunt guys, they've all gone on to do amazing things since Power Rangers. It was like a training ground for all of us, I think. So.
Since Charlie was the new kid on the block with the special, did you give her any advice from when you started off as a Ranger?
Yeah, she really knew what she didn't need any advice, to be honest with you. She was fantastic. She was always came to set prepared. She was just really professional on set, and just worked really hard. So I really didn't feel like I needed to give her any advice, but she was very respectful and very sweet, and just very grateful to be there. And so she just fit right in with everybody. Such a great kid.
I personally love the production pieces that you've been sharing on your social media recently. Of course, we got to see the glimpse of the command center. You know, everything old is new again. You got a digital command center, so Billy is probably, you know, just utterly thrilled. But I was going to ask, you also got to film your new Morphin Sequence,
Yes.
and we got little bits of that in the teaser trailer. What was that like?
Yeah, I was very relieved today. I've been getting so many questions of like, but Kat didn't have the pterodactyl coin, and I'm like, don't worry, they explain it all. Well, they released a little bit today that showed why I have the pterodactyl coin. So that was my first time saying pterodactyl. I always said Pink Ranger Power or Ninja Ranger Power now. I never said pterodactyl. So it was very cool to actually get to say pterodactyl like for the first time. So and the morphing sequence, when we did it back in the day, we filmed once and they used the same morphing sequence for every episode, whether my hair was in a ponytail or out or whatever. And apparently when you morph, it's always the same hairstyle. So this morph was done on green screen, and it was it was done very, very well. Like very much looks like how it was back in the day, but they did it a little bit more professionally, I would say.
So a couple of years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, they were doing a booth set up for the fans to actually go and do their own Morphin Sequence. I had the opportunity to have Walter teach me exactly how to do it, so we did a segment on that. But learning from one of the masters on how to morph appropriately, I know is very, very critical to the overall process.
He knows how to morph. He does it. It's so intense. It's awesome. Yeah.
So as far as other things you have going on, I'd love to just talk about Power Rangers Playback with your best friend. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Nakia and I started that. We were at a convention in Scotland, and we were sitting next to it was very quiet. There wasn't a lot of people at this convention, and we were sitting next to two very well-known voice actors, Nolan North and Troy Baker. And they had a really long line, and a lot of people were there for them for their YouTube channel. And so we were asking them, like, what is it? Like, what do you do? And they said they'd started this YouTube channel where they would play video games of voices and of the ones that they'd voice. So they would play, Uncharted or, Last of Us or whatever. And then they would talk about it, and it was just playful, and people would really enjoy it. And so Nakia and I were like, gosh, we should do something like that for our fans. Like, this would be really fun for us to watch our episodes and talk about it and see, talk about what it was like behind the scenes. And because at conventions, that's what fans want to know. Like, what did it feel like when you put on the suit, or what was going on with this monster or whatever. So we were like, we threw out a few ideas, and we came up with the name, and we were all excited. We filmed our first episode, and we downloaded it to YouTube, and we got a copyright claim. And we were like, oh no. And so we were scrambling, and we had to cut the episode down to like 5 minutes. It was ridiculous because Hasbro and Toy owned the footage, and we're amateurs. We didn't know. So we had to kind of come up with some other ideas. So anyway, then COVID hit, and we had a lot of time to be creative. So we came up with all kinds of ideas, and Nakia's like a night owl. So I would wake up in the morning and she'd be like, what about this? What about this? What about this? So we came up with skits and a game show and food challenges and live interviews. We just came up with a lot of different kind of content, which was really fun. And we also wanted to create memberships so that we could create a space for our fans to have a community, because they weren't able to go to conventions and connect that way. So we had a Discord channel for them, and we do member chats with them, and they've all become friends, and it's so awesome. So it kind of grew bigger than we expected it to, and we've just continued on with it and added other elements now. We have videos of us traveling and doing conventions, so people can see what's going on behind the scenes, and people just seem to really love our friendship. So that's kind of at the forefront of the whole channel now. And it's been a real healing place for the community. And even with, you know, the passing of Jason recently, we've been able to have a lot of support for fans through that. And we've had Jenna on the show talking about her dad. And so it's been a really, just a really wonderful experience, and getting to work with my best friend is the best. So yeah, so we have new episodes every other Wednesday. And then we also offer membership. So, you know, ranging from $3 up to $50, depending on what people want to have. We have all kinds of perks, and you can find out more about it. We have membership on Patreon, but then we also have the YouTube channel where they can get more information there too.
Great.
So,
We'll make sure we share links.
Yeah, share links.
You brought in the Ranger Nation, you know, so many past Ranger family members as well. You know, definitely enjoyed, you know, I think the standout for me was seeing Jason Font suited up with you on the couch. So that one was one of my favorites. But I know Jason David Frank, of course, participating, and you know, his losses definitely affected the Ranger community, and condolences, of course, to you and the family. But
thank you.
you know, he was a wonderful human being, and I've had the pleasure of meeting him a number of times, and just, you know, phenomenal memories. So
yeah, he really gave a lot to the fans, and he's certainly a legend never dies. His legacy will continue, and we are here for you guys, and to answer questions and keep that alive. And you know, Power Rangers is going to continue on. So yeah.
well, that's actually the perfect segue for talk about legacy. I think it's very interesting that Trini plays such an important, you know, integral role with this story in particular, of course, with introduction of Charlie's character. Can you talk about what the legacy of the story and the franchise is meant to you, since you've been so actively involved for so many years?
Yeah, it's really interesting, because when I started the show, I didn't know anything about Power Rangers. I just was cast on as a series regular on a children's show that filmed in America. So I was just excited to have my first series regular job and be on a show. And then I found out that Amy was leaving, and I was actually going to be the new Pink Ranger. So that was like a lot of pressure. And when I got here, realizing how huge the show was, I had no idea what I was stepping into. They were like rock stars, you know. And to be a part of something like that, and be able to impact people like that, it was such a gift. But the job ended, and your life moves on, and we all kind of went off and did other things. And in 2009, I got invited to a convention. I didn't even know what that was. I'm like, what's a convention? And the guy's like, don't worry, I'll print up a picture for you, and you just show up and fans want to meet you. And I'm like, what? Power Rangers is still on? And he's like, yeah, there's still a huge fandom. So I show up at Anime Expo, and I was a new mom, and I was just like, you know, sleep deprived and like not really knowing what to expect. And there was lines of people to meet us. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I think it's been a real blessing. Social media has its downfalls, of course, but it's been a real blessing to be able to see the impact that the show has had on people all around the world, and connect to fans in that way. Because, you know, when I was on the show, we'd get fan letters, snail mail. So I knew it was seen worldwide, and it was the #1 kids show, but I didn't know how much it meant to you guys. And so it's been such a gift to do conventions and connect through social media. And I take the responsibility very seriously, because I think a lot of people were bullied, or they went through real challenges, and this was a place for them to escape and feel like they could connect with someone like them. Our show had a lot of diversity and great storylines that just made people feel like they could escape and have some joy in their chaotic life. So I'm very grateful to be a part of the franchise, and I especially now. So I do pour back into it a lot. I try to give back to the fans as much as they give to me, which is impossible because they're so kind and wonderful. So yeah, very grateful.
So I'm going to ask just a memorabilia question, because there's been so many amazing things that have come out from Saban, from Bandai, from Hasbro. Are there any particular items that are maybe the most random or most precious bit of memorabilia that you have that you could share?
From the when I was on the show?
Either just in general of, is there any particular memorabilia that you have either from your time on the show or just that has been produced, something that you were like, this is mine, I absolutely love this, and it's more precious than expected?
Yes, I recently got this beautiful piece that Iron Studios made of the Pink Ranger with the bow, and it's so beautiful. It's a collector's item. I love that. I love the I think it's 07 that makes the figures. They have the Mighty Morphin figures. They're gorgeous. I have the Pink Ranger of that. I love all my Lightning figures, but the Ninjetti is probably my favorite. I think that's the one that looks the most like me. But I also love the 2-pack with the cat. I thought that was really cute. I actually really love when fans, like a lot of the fan art that they've created. I'm always just blown away by the talent of some of these artists and what they do with the characters. And so I keep all of that. That means a lot to me. I've got crates of stuff that fans have given. They're so kind and generous. There was one fan that did something really cool with the Lightning figure. He made it like a battle version of the figure. So he had her like all tattered, but it was so clever the way he did it. And the command center was kind of blown up in the background. And I was like, wow, just really, really talented people. So I try to keep as much as I can. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So you're one of the few Ranger actors that has been in multiple incarnations of the show. So you've had 3 different theme songs throughout your time, not counting the appearance on Ninja Steel. Which one gets stuck in your head the most?
That's a good. I actually really like the Zeo theme song, but that beginning riff of the Mighty Morphin with the electric guitar, that's like so classic. You hear that and you get like all amped. I can imagine the kids like they're watching TV and they hear that theme song and they run to the TV. It's on. Gets you all hyped. So, but I thought the Zeo theme song was really cool.
We're going to be speaking with Ron Wasserman later this week. So as part of our 30th anniversary coverage. So, longtime friend of Ron's, but very appreciative of all the music that he's crafted over the years. So I'm very excited to dive into the musical side of this.
I wonder if they're using him to do the music for the special.
They are.
They are? That's awesome.
So he announced recently, actually, I think on Ranger Board and IMDb, that he came back to score the special.
I love that. Okay, because I haven't well, I have seen it, but I didn't hear the music in it yet. So he's so talented. Yeah. Well, tell him I said hello. It's been many years.
Will do. No, very excited. Actually, I met him the same year that we met at Power Morphin. So he was hosting a panel there. So just I've had the opportunity to meet so many different people involved with this show over the years, and every single one of them just brings so much energy and passion to what they do. It's always impressive, whether it's the original cast or onward. It seems to be an ongoing trend that people understand the impact that the show has had on countless people around the world.
Yes, for sure.
So the last question I wanted to ask is, we've now seen Kat return for shifting into Turbo. We've seen her return for Mighty Morphin. Do you want to go for the trifecta and come back with Zeo Powers at some point in the future?
Yes, and Ninjetti and Metallic. Why not throw that one in too? Yeah, I was really surprised in Dimensions of Danger that they didn't use the Zeo suit. I was surprised, but I think it had something to do with the Sentai footage, to be honest. But I would love to bring Zeo back. It's interesting with Zeo because I think Zeo kind of got swept under the rug a little bit because it following Mighty Morphin. But it's interesting because a lot of fans that are adults now say that Zeo has become their favorite season. They really enjoyed the storylines in Zeo. So I think you look for different things as you get older, right?
Honestly, Zeo was one of my favorites. I mean, I appreciated Mighty Morphin. I watched the show from the beginning as well, but I think the approach felt a little bit more serialized, but also a little bit more grown up as the show leveled up. Yeah. So, of course, we started getting different incarnations after that point where every season was a new cast and building up to it, following your team's departure. But it sort of set the stage for a little bit more of intricate storytelling versus just the monster of the week approach.
Yes.
So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you got a little bit more meat and potatoes, I think. So
what do you think is going to be the thing that surprises people most about the special? Without a spoiler, but just more, what do you think the takeaway is going to be?
Oh, surprise. Well, there is some surprises they haven't revealed yet. I think there's a lot of little Easter eggs in there that are going to be really fun. Like if the more you watch it, the more you'll see those things pop up. I think that no barking, Odie. I think the storyline with Min, with Twee's daughter, is really a beautiful tribute to Trini. So I think the fans are going to really love that. Might be a little emotional for them. I think a lot of fans were really shocked that in that first trailer that was released, and we used the word kill, which no, that's not. It's much more mature. It's not. It's still got the feel of the original show, but it's definitely leveled up so that it's something your age group would enjoy more. You know, so it's aimed more at your age now as opposed to the kids. So I hope you guys like it. I think they did a really good job. I was really, really proud to be a part of it, and I think it's really well done.